Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss consumerism in India. Consumerism in India is a very interesting topic as we know that in India consumer is considered at top in the hierarchy, but in true sense it is not in the way the consumer are treated. So what is happening that sometimes the consumers are cheated by the service provider or by the producers by uh, putting them a very false claims in the advertisements. So today we are going to throw a light what is consumerism and what is the redressal mechanism. What is the redressal mechanism that is framed in India in order to settle down the disputes or the harms that is created by the producers or service providers as a result of the false claims made in advertisements. So what is consumerism? Consumerism in India has started its journey with a need to raise consumers' voice against the quality of goods as back as in 1969 through housewives at Mumbai. Our parliament passed an act for welfare of consumer in 1986. Thus, the Consumer Protection Act 1986 has further undergone many changes. Criticism and even questions on its legal validity was also put before the Honorable Supreme Court of India. Since 1986, consumerism in India is delivered to be more just than or limited to needs, stuffing plenty of nice things which we really do not need, deprived the other consumers from things they required for their survival. Keeping four cars for four persons in a family is ultimately going to affect others and also more consumption of nation's resources like petrol etc. Our sense of enlightenment can muddy the water when it's come to what you want and what you really need. The size of our house are expanding as per our income and resources, irrespective of the fact what we had to olden days. Effects of consumerism. The effects of consumerism is divided into two categories: the positive effects and the negative effects. What are the positive effects? The positive effects of consumerism effects are discussed below. Positive consumer effects are more industrial production, a high growth rate economy, more goods and services available, more advertising since goods are manufactured have to be sold, increased production with result in more employment opportunities, a variety of choices for goods and services, more comfort for a better living styles. The negative effects of consumerism. The negative effects of consumerism include the depletion of natural resources and pollution of earth. The wants and desire of people changes according to the time. The more their income, the better their purchasing power, but in case they are not able to do so, then they feel dissatisfied. India is also progressing toward materialism, although this goes against its ancient philosophical approach towards materialism, which favors a simple non materialistic life. Our ethical and spiritual values are left unimportant under the circumstances. Our over dependence on labor savings devices, a car for affects individual would means gradual erosion of public transport. Crime rate also increases at the wants of people purchases them to buy expensive gadgets. Personal relationship also get affected as people are busy trying to earn more to maintain their standard of living. Cheaper goods are today's consumption, which also affect the environmental resources. Consumerism has also resulted in ecological imbalances. The natural habitat is being destroyed to create more goods and building more buildings affecting the wealth. Global warming will eventually result in health problems. Industrial pollutions will eventually result in health problems. Industrial pollution is affecting people rather than focusing on simplicity. One is in a rat race of earn more and more, forced to cope up with stress and other work related to tensions. Consumerism and recent trends in India. Consumerism essentially means the growing wants and needs of an individual for goods and services. India is one of the largest and fastest growing economies in the world. The consumer's standard of life is going higher, and hence its needs are escalating as well. As consumerism in India is a new high and refuses to show signs of budgeting anymore. The Indian consumer, due to his exposure of the global market, strive to get the best of goods in his homeland. Consumer tastes and preferences are definitely changing. Even children have their own preferences. The retail sector, both organized and unorganized, strive hard to cater to the vast range of Indian consumers. The retail sectors in India, with its present phase, is expected to grow at a rate of 25% to 35% annually. Consumer protections. When we talk of the consumer protection, it means that we are protecting the interest of consumers. If a consumer have any complaint related with the services or the products, then they will have a mechanism, a redressal mechanism, from where they can file a case and they can get the compensations or get the goods replaced or get the services changed in accordance with the provisions laid by the Consumer Protection Act. Introduction to the Act. Consumer Protection Act is an act of the Parliament of India enacted in 1986 to protect the interest of consumer in India. It extends to the whole of India except the state Jammu and Kashmir. This act is applied to all goods and services. It shall came in force through central government for different provision of the act. A person who buy any commodity or services or is a user of such commodity or services, a person who satisfies the following condition is considered to be a consumer. All the services must have been rendered to him. He must have paid or promised to pay for the same. If any person buy capital goods to provide services to other individual, if any person buy a commodity with an intention to resell, a person who obtains services without consideration, a person who obtains services to commercial purposes, person who files suits in the court. Factor leading to consumer exploitations. Following are the factors which highlight the factors leading to consumer exploitation: deceptive and misleading techniques, false warranties or guarantees, non-availability of goods, adulteration, hoardings, black marketing. Forms of consumer exploitations. The following are the forms of consumer exploitation. Number one, overweight and under measures. Second is high prices. Third, substandard quality. Fourth, duplicate articles. Fifth is rough behavior and undue conditions. Number six is lack of safety and devices. And seventh is poor or inadequate sales services. Ways and means of consumer protections. Lok adalats. Then we have public interest litigations, environmentally friendly products, redressal forms and consumer protection councils, National Youth Award on consumer protection, publicity measures, consumer welfares. Then objective of the act: providers for promoting and protecting of consumer right, provide remedies for deceived consumers, better protection against exploitation, make provisions for establishment of consumer councils and other authorities for settlement of consumer disputes for the matters connected with it. Consumer rights. Following are the consumer rights which are highlighted one by one. The first one, right to safety. The second is right to be informed. The third is right to be chose. The fourth one is right to be heard. Then right to seek redressal, rights to consumer education, right to basic needs, right to healthy environment. Responsibilities of a consumer. Be aware of various goods and services available in the market. Buy standardized products, only IS marked products. Be aware of each and every aspect of the product while purchasing it. Buy legal products, ask and take the proof of purchase. File a complaint in appropriate consumer forum. Respect the environment. Consumer dispute redressal agencies. Consumer dispute redressal agencies, these are classified. The Consumer Protection Act is classified in a three-tier mechanism. The first one is District Consumer Forum, Dispute Redressal Forum. Then we have a State Dispute Redressal Commissions. Then we have a National Consumer Dispute Redressal Commission. If a consumer is facing any problem or is not satisfied with the services or the quality of goods, then he can file a case in District Consumer Forum. If he is not satisfied with the District Consumer Forum judgment, then he can approach the State Commission, and again if he is not satisfied with the State Commission judgment, then he can approach to National Commission Forum. District Consumer Dispute Redressal Forum in India. Value of goods or services and compensation if any claimed below rupees 20 lakhs. Section 11. The Section 11 states that if you have any dispute which have a false claim less than 20 lakhs, it will be handled by the district forum. Compositions. Then we have a president is a person who has been or qualified to a district court judge appointed by the state government. Two other persons, one who shall be a woman who shall not be less than 35 years of age, possess a bachelor degree from a recognized university, and shall be a person of ability, integrity and standing, having adequate knowledge and experience of at least 10 years in dealing with a problem related to economic law, accountancy, industry, public affairs or administration. Terms of the offices. For a 5 years or up to the age of 65 years, which is earlier, a member shall be eligible to reappoint for another term of 5 years within the special age limit. Then we have a state consumer dispute redressal mechanism. So the state redressal consumer mechanism, or the state forums, it has the values of goods or services and compensation if any above 20 lakhs are below 1 crore, section 73. So the state redressal mechanism is handling only the cases which is above 20 lakhs and below 1 crore. The composition is a president is a person who or has been judge of high court appointed by the state government. Two other persons, one who shall be a woman who shall not be less than 35 years of age, possesses bachelor degree from a recognized university, and shall be a person of ability, integrity and standing, having adequate knowledge and experience of at least 10 years in dealing with the problem related to economic law, accountancy, industry, public affairs or administration. Section 16. Term of office. For a 5 years or up to the age of 67 years, whichever is earlier, a member shall be eligible for the appointment of another term of 5 years within the specified age limit. Section 16. 3. Then the state commission shall ordinarily function in the state capital but may perform its function at such places as the state government may consultation with the state commission notify from time to time. Section 17b. Then National Consumer Dispute Redressal Commissions. The National Commission Redressal Mechanism, value of goods and services and compensation if any above 1 crores is handled by the state redressal mechanism or the state commissions. Then composition, the composition is comprises of president, a person who has been or qualified to be a Supreme Court judge appointed by the central government, four other persons, one who shall be a woman who shall not be less than 35 years of age, possesses a bachelor degree from a recognized university, and shall be a person of ability, integrity, and standing having adequate knowledge and experience of at least 10 years in dealing with the problem related to economic law, accountancy, industry, public affairs, or administration. Section 20. Then term of office for 5 years or up to an age of 70 years, whichever is earlier. A member shall be eligible for reappointment of another terms of 5 years within the specified age limit of section 23. The National Commission shall ordinarily function in the New Delhi but may perform its function at such other places as the central government make consultation with the National Commission notified from time to time. Section 21B. Procedure of filing the appeals. Appeals against order passed by the district forum, state commissions. Then the state commissions, if anybody is not satisfied with the judgment of state commission, he can file the appeal in National Commission. Then National Commission, if anybody is not satisfied with the judgment of the National Commission, then he can file appeal in Supreme Court. With a period of 30 days from the days of an order, an appeal may be entered after expiry of the period provided. Forum commission concerned with satisfied caused or delay. Procedure for filing an appeal is the same as of complaint, except that of application should be accompanied by orders of the district forum of the state commission or national commission, as the case may be. The reason for filing the appeal should be clear and specified. Time schedule for disposal of complaint appeals. Every complaint decided within 3 months from the date of receipt of notice by the opposite party, where there is no requirement for testing of sample etc. In event of such a requirement, the prescribed time is 5 months. Appeals disposed of within a period of 90 days. The forum shall make such orders as to cost occasions by the judgment. If a complaint appeal is disposed of after a specified period, then the foreign commission shall record in writing reasons for the delay. Who can file a complaint? A complaint in relation to any goods or services may be filed a consumer or a voluntary consumer association registered under the Companies Act 1956, 1 of 1956, or under any law for the time being in force. The central government or any state government, or one or more consumer where there are numerous consumers having the same interest. In case of death of a consumer, his legal heir or representative. How to file a complaint? On a plain paper, content of a complaint, the name, descriptions and address of the complaint, the name, description and address of opposite party or parties, the facts related to complaint and when and where it arose, document in support of the allegations contained in the complaint, the relief with the complaint claim, the complaint should be signed by the complainant or his authorized agent. A complaint can be filed in a person through agent, lawyer or by registered post AD. Nominal court fees. Fee for the filing a complaint. The fees for filing a complaint is given in the chart, or it can made in the form of cross demand draft drawn on a nationalized bank through crossed Indian postal orders drawn in favor of registrar of state commission payable at a place where the state commission is situated. The concerned district forum shall deposit the amount of fees received in the state government receipt account. Then information required for compliance. What are the information? You need, a consumer should have certain informations on the basis of which he can file a complaint in any of the district, in any of the redressal mechanism, where it is a district forum or in a state forum. So name and full address of complaints, name and full address of opposite party, description of goods and services, quality and quantity, price, date of proof of purchase, date of proof of purchase, date of proof of purchase is mentioned in the invoice. So a valid invoice should solve this purpose. So the consumer will always ask for a valid invoice after purchasing any goods or services. Nature of deceptions, types of redressal requirements, limitation period for filing a complaint. District forum or state commission or a national commission within 2 years from the date on which the cause of an act has arisen. The forum commission concerned can overlook delay for recalled reasons. Section 24A. Appeals are required to be filed within 30 days from the date of receipt of the court's order. It may be noted that these time frames are not absolute limitations. If a consumer forum is satisfied, then there may be sufficient cause for not filing the complaint with the prescribed period. It can entertain a complaint beyond the limitation time. However, the forum must record the reason for consideration of delay. Then remedies available to a consumer. A consumer has some remedies that is available. If a district forum commission is not satisfied from the goods complaint against suffered from any of the defects specified in the complaints, or that any of the allegations contained in the complaint about the services are provided, it shall issue an order to the opposite party directing him to do one or more of the following things: to remove the defects, to replace the goods with new goods, to return to the complaints the price, to pay such amount which may be awarded by it as compensation to the consumer, to remove the defects or deficiencies in services, to discontinue the unfair trade practices, not to offer the hazardous goods for sales, to cease manufacture of hazardous goods, to provide the adequate cost to the parties. So today we have discussed what is consumerism and what are the effects, or what is the mechanism we have available for the consumer to protect the interest of consumer. Today's lecture is over. Please get back to me if you need any help or if you have any queries. Thank you.